Who coming in here?
Wow, we're doing that.
Oh, of course we are.
Back to it.
You want to bring your jacket and your chains in here.
But you gotta love me for bringing it, even when we weren't on the schedule.
Thank you.
No, I don't have to love you for bringing it. I love you.
Yeah.
But these next 4 days, these next 4 days, if you want to keep, you want to put that logo on my face, then you don't get the G.
And the guys in the morning killed me. Said I was dead to both of them. Yet I talked to them on the phone.
Exactly.
Exactly. Did they say that? I didn't even hear that. They said that you were dead to them?
Yeah, said I was dead. Kind of bothered me.
Yes, I was too busy cowering in the corner from them. Whatever.
Can we start there, Willard?
Go ahead.
I always have your back,
I know you do.
But this morning, and you know I'm a fan at heart, tell me if I got it wrong. You said, and you love the Purdy story, the world does, of what you've seen thus far. But did you say that you're so infatuated with what you think they have at quarterback that the next 3 games, which could get them to the Super Bowl and win it, don't matter?
Of course I didn't say that.
That's how it sounded.
I know, because that's the way that they tried to spin it.
I mean, many people misconstrued your message.
But it's also, I never even said anything that even flirts with that.
A lot of people
I never even said anything
have misconstrued your message, so maybe it wasn't delivered in the way you intended.
Can I step in?
Go ahead.
Did you hear it, or were you listening?
I didn't, but I know exactly what happened.
Uh-oh.
Mark Willard said something to the equivalent, and again, I didn't even hear it. It probably was like something equivalent to if you were a Dolphin fan when Dan Marino was a rookie, and he's had a great year, and he's taken him to the Super Bowl, and you say, God, I'd love to win the Super Bowl with Dan Marino. That would be unbelievable. But you know what? I think this guy's going to be around for a while. So that almost supersedes it.
I said that without 2 words. No but and no supersede. I'm going to put these things alongside one another and talk about what I think is the 49er fan experience right now. And I'll admit that the 2 people, I'm going to leave you out of this, Dibs. The 2 people I was talking to this morning, can we all agree?
They're dead to me.
They're also very emotional.
Right.
They are very emotional, and that's fine. That's them. Right? Like, I don't need to tell people that Joe Shasky and Bonte Hill, who, when the 49ers win a football game, cannot get to their selfie cell phone fast enough to blast to the internet. That's great. That's wonderful. Very, very emotional.
But what was your message?
My point
that
is
misconstrued?
That there's 2 things that are equally concurrent and amazing right now for the fan experience.
Okay.
A, you're going to the divisional round, and here come the damn Cowboys.
No doubt.
And that is as good as it gets. Concurrently, as a fan, you only get a handful of times in your life where at the quarterback position, you go through the process of, oh my God, I think we found our guy. And that to me is absolutely, to say that in some way is being infatuated with a quarterback battle next year, that's not what I'm saying at all.
What about the Jimmy 5 games? Did he parlayed into a contract? Didn't they feel that?
Yes, and we could have a debate or I think a healthy conversation over whether they were or were not right. Like, they ended up with 5 years, and you're like, okay, NFC title game, a Super Bowl appearance, but also injuries, disappointment, not hitting the ceiling, right? There's all of that. So I don't know where this is going to go, but as a fan, I am at the same time experiencing, wow, this playoff run, let's roll, and, I think we found our guy. I think we might have found our guy. And time will tell if I'm right or wrong. So there's plenty of time for that. But, that is absolutely a part of this right now. This is a 7-game run.
My last thing, I know y'all about to chime in.
7-game run. They're averaging 34.5 points a game, and the offense
So Sunday, let me give you this scenario. Sunday at 6:45 Pacific Standard Time, somehow the team with the star in their helmet beats the Niners.
Barf.
Would you grab the microphone and say, hey,
it's okay.
Don't hang your heads. We got a quarterback, I think.
No.
Because that's what was coming off this morning with your words, Mark. No, that's how it sounded.
Like you're
so.
That's the way you feel after the season's over, 2
That's-
months
okay,
down
that's
the
too-
road.
Not 6:45,
Not
6:50.
Of course
not.
Hell,
People
I hope.
would want to throw a rock at
First
you.
of all, I hope the game's not even over at 6:45
Okay, well-
because it means they're not throwing enough. But anyway, no, not in the no.
That's how I took it.
God,
That's
if
how you
they
sounded.
lose to the Cowboys, it'd be a freaking disappointment, not a disaster. It would be awful for the soul. It would be awful for everything. But I like to say that 49er fans are not going on this ride and that the last 7 weeks have not changed the experience of this team. I think it's crazy. Like, forget the future. I'm talking about the last 7 weeks. Every week, what we think about the Niner quarterback situation changes. And we sat here a week ago and went, okay, dude, can you do it in the playoffs? Well, here's 41 points for you. And I'm the top-rated quarterback of the whole week, and I'm the top-rated quarterback of the last 7 weeks, and I'm all that. And so, yes, I did it. And now we're going to come out and say, nothing to see here. We'll worry about some other day, some other day. Like, no. These things are all happening at the same time. So, no, there's no dismissing this game, not even a little bit. That's what I'm trying to say.
It took 3 hours. I think maybe he finally got his point across.
Or someone
As
was
Gary
finally,
Radnich would say, fair enough.
Yeah, or someone was
It's a great button.
or someone was finally listening. Yeah,
Well,
one of these.
I mean, I heard it from start to finish, and I'm just reading the YouTube comments. And
You're picking and choosing which comments because I saw plenty on my side all day. So anyway, go ahead.
no, may
Go
I?
ahead.
May I now?
Stop.
No, because
Stop.
Earlier,
I love that we
moments
get.
ago you said you were going to put me aside. So am I back in the? Am I back in the fold
No,
now?
I was trying to give you a compliment. I'm not
No,
going to put you. I'm not going to put you in the emotional
You
fan
can put me
role
wherever you
of
want, 'cause
Bonta and Joe.
I am more on the side of the emotional to some because what they said, and I agree with them. 7 times in our lifetime, we've said, now we've got our quarterback, and this is the time. They trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and he wins 5 games. Now we've got our guy. Colin Kaepernick comes in, flexes his bicep, and runs for 181. Now we've got our guy.
So you
they
think
take
that-
Trey Lance, number 1 overall. Now we've got our
So
guy.
you think at age 54, something you've done 7 times is like a normal, happens a lot?
In my lifetime, it's been
Okay.
more than 7 times.
It has?
Yeah, I mean, Steve Young. Now we've got our guy.
you
Jeff
did.
Garcia. Alex Smith. They used the number 1 overall
No,
pick.
see, I did that.
See,
That's where I
and that's
disagree
where
with you.
I disagree with you because you took the guy number 1.
But that's
you
a
didn't take a
concept,
quarterback
Dibs.
number 1 overall and think, well, I mean, this guy's not very
you
good.
never saw it
But
on
you
the
thought,
field.
now we have our guy.
No,
Your
no.
premise is, for one of the rare times in our lifetime, we've seen a guy and we think, now we've got our guy. And I'm
Yes.
saying we've seen this 8, 9, 10 times before, and you disagree.
Then you're still not getting my point.
No, I get
Because
your
we're
point.
seeing it on the field,
And-
Dibs.
Yes.
You
Yeah, I
didn't
get
see
that.
it with Alex Smith.
Oh, you saw
didn't-
it at Utah.
You didn't see it with Trey Lance. You didn't see it with so many
Right.
people
But
that we've tried.
your
I think we
premise is
saw it.
flawed.
This
I think
is
we
reality.
saw it, whether we're right or wrong. I think we saw it with Garoppolo.
Yes.
I think
I
I
you
saw
know,
it with Cap.
the only-
Cap was
Cap,
a phenom.
no doubt.
He was kissing his biceps.
Like
He-
literally the only human beings that have put on a 49er uniform that you could even attempt to make this comp to would be Cap, Jimmy, Jeff, Steve, Joe.
But that makes it not rare, though, because you just
That
that's
is
5
what
guys.
I went back 40 years.
Well, when you do it, yeah,
It's
but
totally rare.
the last decade or two.
I mean-
yeah, I'm with you, Dibs. On this is not rare.
It's not rare. It's very surprising in that this guy was a 7th round pick that you didn't expect
It's
to be
a story.
doing this.
It is a story.
The fact that he beat Nate Sudfeld out to be the 3rd stringer
that's movie
but
like.
that was not front page news. That was buried in the notes.
Go, you've been through this, okay? Tony Romo was your quarterback.
Oh, no doubt.
And then he got hurt.
Yep.
And in Los Angeles, California, a preseason game.
I'll never forget it.
The man went nuts, and Jerry Jones
Yep.
came off the sideline and started screaming the words Dak Prescott.
And where'd that get you 7 years later?
Well,
one playoff.
I don't
win. Well,
know.
2 yesterday.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but here you are. You
Right.
got a game this weekend, and he's still the quarterback.
No, that's
and he's
hard. I'm
making
with
40
you.
mil,
I'm with
and that
you.
was off of a preseason game.
And I'm not throwing
I've now watched
shade at
7
Brock,
real
Mark. I
games.
was just shocked that it felt like you were putting on the cologne of this supersedes
Good Lord, no.
what happens. And if we're talking bars, Kaepernick took him to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. So to me, that's where the bar's at for Purdy.
Yeah, the bar is he's
And it
going to
still
be the
can
quarterback
change.
next year anyway.
Okay.
I mean, he's gone from an afterthought to now he might be the guy. And
it's real.
You know, my focus and what I'm seeing a lot in social media and elsewhere is the focus is on Dallas. It's not to discount what you're saying, but I don't personally, I'm not thinking about it in global terms of the future of the organization.
If you're not seeing Brock Purdy mania on social media the last month and a half, I'm not sure what platforms you're on.
But I'm not seeing his 2030 Pro Bowl candidacy. I'm seeing Brock Purdy right now is where the mania is.
The one thing about Purdy that I saw last game is, his ability to evade is unbelievable. At least through 7 games. It's been unreal. He's got that fast twitch thing. There's no doubt where he can, and then I've said this, but then he can move fast enough to evade. He cuts it really close. It feels like at times he's playing with fire.
Oh, yeah.
And I just wonder if
a better defense.
Well, just that play got hit on the sidelines, where he got it. I don't know why Harbaugh. I don't know why the play was called in the first place. But that's kind of where that could worry me a little. Like the speed of a player in a really big game that he might not be able to account for. But he's like a mouse. You can't catch him around the house. You got the broom out. You're trying to hit him.
I will say this.
He's under the fridge. Yeah, he goes up to the oven. Somebody get this guy.
Does it worry you, the propensity, when he scrambles, by the way, I've never seen too many quarterbacks do this. Sometimes he turns around and runs backwards.
And he loves to get to his right hand.
Right. He runs the other way, and it's worked okay. I don't want to see him do that if Micah is running at him this weekend.
And maybe it's somebody in Philly if they get past the you're so right.
I think Micah could catch him.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been caught yet.
Yeah, right.
Micah's like, don't run the other way, dude.
Gibbs, it's funny. We were talking to Lowe yesterday, and I brought up the basketball analogy when a guy doesn't have a good left hand, you want to make him go left. And I said, if you know Purdy's great at making these throws to the right, is there anything like in football you can really do? And he talked about when the pursuit comes, you got to know to stay on his back shoulder, not quite parallel with him. Because if you go to his back shoulder, if he tries to turn that way, you're going to be closer. And he says it's one of those things that it's just instinctual not to do. So you kind of got to think about doing it if you're actually in the moment. I just thought it was pretty fascinating.
He's saying almost to run past him so that he can't spin away.
Because you know what? Here's the other thing. Here's the thing. When he's running left, has he thrown across his body ever?
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't want to throw across his body.
No, he does that stop thing.
Yeah.
Usually gets him cracked in the ribs.
No doubt.
Yeah.
He took a shot last game.
He scares me.
No,
some of his most impressive plays have been throwing the ball away.
Yep.
I mean, 6 plays a game, you're like, they just can't get him.
The underhand throw is my favorite from Saturday. It's like you don't often see that. Like Mahomes will throw underhand.
Wow. I said, dude.
The underhand throwaway? Okay.
Wasn't it you and I watching that AQ Shipley video together about that underhand play? Was that right? I think you and I sat here before the show yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
AQ Shipley is a former offensive lineman. He's probably trying to do kind of some Baldy type stuff. He's doing some breakdowns on video. And he spotlights that play, and you're so used to seeing those videos on social media, and they usually end with a touchdown or whatnot. His point was, he goes, Kyle Shanahan, he goes, this play call was the greatest thing I've seen the whole weekend, and it was that play.
Wow.
And the way he drew it up, he goes, watch what all the linemen do, watch what the skill position guys do, and he goes, basically, if Purdy had one more millisecond, he stops right as Purdy does the underhand throw and goes, look at the middle of the field. The defense had been totally run out of the video.
Man.
He goes, it's Eli Mitchell, a tight end, and 3 blockers, and no Seahawks are even on the screen except for the guy that was in Purdy's face. So we had to throw it a little too quick. He goes, this is such brilliant play calling. Yep. Like Eli Mitchell, if that had been complete, he could have crawled into the end zone.
No doubt.
For a touchdown. So
And that's the Purdy experience, man.
And Kyle.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is working in concert together right now.
I know we're up against it, but that first touchdown where Purdy hit McCaffrey in the flat, he did the Jimmy, no shade to Jimmy. Jimmy would have panicked, threw it out the end zone.
He'd gotten sacked.
Purdy did I'm still in control. And then McCaffrey, you can see him thinking, oh, let me just go out here. Bam, wide open touchdown, Niners. Like, that's a trait. Some have it, some don't.
Yeah.
Right now, Purdy's got it, but you guys are right on that. Skedaddle. If you go the wrong way, is it DeMarcus Lawrence? Is it Armstrong or Micah? Like can he just, will it burn him?
I was telling Evan when we were a kid, we used to play a game called Kill. He had one football and 8 guys. One guy had the football.
And
he started running, and 7 guys tried to tackle him. And you know who the best players were? The guys who could zigzag. And that's what Brock Purdy can do.
He's got
it. What would the name of that game have to be if you launched it in 2023? You're not allowed to use that word anymore.
There's another name for it that you really can't use anymore.
Tag Dibs. Yeah, it would be called.
No, it would be called gently embrace the guy with the football.
That's right.
Because we had another name for it. I got in trouble when I used it years ago.
And unfortunately, I was neither quick nor elusive, so I'd get the ball. Hard to bring down, though, quietly. Yeah. So I'd be taking shots from everybody.
Don't be a bully. That's
Greg
the name of the game.
Jeff Ferreira, they all came for your boy.
If you get there and the guy has the ball, just be nice.
Yeah.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app. Before we run, real quick, because you've been down on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How about last night? Are you back up?
And let me tell you why, Rob Lowe, about last night. It's Seattle and what they did in 2 quarters that I think Dallas can do for 4 if all systems are a go. So this is going to be a great, phenomenal game. And Dallas was playing Dallas yesterday. It wasn't so much Tampa. It was the stage. It was Dak. They had him I had him 6 feet deep. And now you feel like, can they parlay that into, let's go Jim Brown, the big payback. James Brown, help me out. The big payback. So this is the best non-division rivalry in sports, right? Lakers, Celtics, Dallas Niners.
Niners lead 24-23, 4 seconds left. Dallas at the 49 to 31 yard line. And here comes Brett Maher. To try to win the game.
I think they lose. What was that yesterday?
It was history. No kicker had ever missed 4 PATs in a game. Yeah. He had the yips.
We got Ross Tucker. He was defending Maher because he had a family and kids. So we'll get into that about the hate was too much of the vitriol, but I've never seen anything like that, man. What if that would have cost him?
Yeah. Well, it did cost me. Cost me donuts. 40.
I had the under.
Over-under was 45 and a half.
No.
45 and a half. You got 4 chances to hit the over, brother. 4 chances to hit the over.
And Tampa went for 2 and didn't get it, too. I thought I was
seriously
cooked.
Ridiculous. All right, here comes Steiny and Guru.